worshipful homage to that supreme, all-transcending, timeless and spaceless, eternal and infinite, absolute non-dual reality, which is the source of countless millions of universes like ours, with their own solar systems, lunar systems, stellar systems, great imponderable galaxies, and equally imponderable outer space. Such universes countless such universes, millions and billions and trillions of such universes have their being in that great reality, exist there for a while. It may be for eons, but to that eternal timeless reality, it may be like a few moments. Exist for a time and then sink back into its nameless, formless, original state and disappear. Dissolve and disappear. That is भजनों का या मैंने सोचा स्वर्गाश्रम का. In Tamil Nadu, there is a belief that when some truth is expressed, at that time if a bell rings, he says, look, just now, Swamiji said it, just now bell is ringing. That means it is 100% true, 100% correct. So if a bell rings, I say it proves that whatever is being stated at that moment is 100% true. The ringing of the bell supports this statement. So I am glad to hear the bhajanal veranda bell ringing the hour 6. Anantakoti Brahmanda Nayaka. That Supreme Being is addressed as the Overlord of infinite millions of universes. Koti means 100,000 make a lakh. 10 hundreds make 1,000. Hundreds of thousands make a lakh. Some spell it L-A-C, some spell it L-A-K-H. A person who possesses many lakhs of rupees is called Lakhpati. Or in South India they call him Lakshadipati. Lakshadipati or Lakhpati. And hundred such lakhs make what is known as a crore. So, hundred thousands. In terms of Western calculation, I don't know what it means. It means 10 millions or 1 million? 10 million. It means 10 million. And 100 lakhs make a crore. Crore means 10 millions. He says, infinite, countless, tens of millions of universes. He is the overlord of infinite, countless, tens of millions of universes. Ananta Koti Brahmanda Nayaka. That being, he is the source, the support, and the ultimate subsidence of such countless number of universes. To him we offer worshipful homage. He is the source of all things that exist. Our reverential prostrations and loving adorations to our revered and beloved Holy Master Gurudev Sri Swami Chidananda Maharaj, who realized that great being as a living experience after intense penance and austerity and yoga practice and concentration and meditation, living a life of absolute solitude and silence, putting himself under strict spiritual vows, when he attained to a living experience of that great reality, that reality experience, that reality which the common man in the street refers to as God. See? All things belong to God. He is the creator, preserver and destroyer of the whole universe. To God nothing is impossible. With the help of God, everything becomes possible for a human being also, with the help of God. The story of Prahlada illustrates that. Prahlada was born to a demon king called Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu was a God-hater. In his realm, he had made it a law that no one should utter the name of God. There should be no temple to God. No one should worship God. No one should do kirtan, sankirtan of God's name. If a temple is built, it should be dedicated to him. His image should be installed in the temple and the subjects should worship his image. There should be Hiranyakashipu temples only, Hiranyakashipu worship only. Hiranyakashipu's name only should be uttered with reverence. And they can do kirtan, sankirtan of Hiranyakashipu's name. Nam sankirtan can be done only of the name of Hiranyakashipu. And to him, but at the same time very peculiar. He was a respecter of sages who were renowned throughout the three worlds. And one such sage who was renowned everywhere, in all the three worlds, in Devaloka, by Indra, the Devatas, the Gandharvas, Yakshas, Kinnaras, Indra himself, and even if he went to Vaikuntha, he was welcomed with honor. He went to Brahmaloka, he was welcomed with honor. He was very closely related to Brahma. He was one of the Manasaputras of Brahma. If he went to Kailas, he was welcomed with honor by Lord Shiva. And he was conferred the gift, miraculous gift of traveling to all the three worlds, the nether worlds, human world, and the celestial world. He could travel without any vehicle. Without any vehicle. And he shone like a midday sun. He was dazzling with divine lustre. And he had only one thing, chanting the name of Lord Hari. Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana. He had a little instrument to keep tune, swara. It is called Tanpura. You cannot play music upon it. वो वीणा रखते थे, तानपुरा रखते थे, तानपुरा रखते थे, नारद जी उसी के पे तानपुरा. और he could freely move simply with his body to anywhere he wanted. And there was nothing that was not known to him, nothing that was hidden from him. Therefore, he was called Devarishi. See? A divine Rishi or a celestial Rishi, Devarishi Narada. Chanting the name of God, Narayana Hari, Narayana Hari. And whenever he came anywhere, they stood up. And when Narada came to know that Hiranyakashipu is to have a baby, a successor born to him through his queen, Kayadu. Queen was named Kayadu. He says, Acha, let me go and visit Hiranyakashipu's palace. Let me go to the human world, enter his realm where he ruled, go to his palace and bless the queen. And the moment the news reached that Narada has descended to the human world, he is coming to his realm, Hiranyakashipu made all preparations to receive him with honor and reverence. Told everyone, clear his path, let my minister go and receive him and bring him into my presence. It's a great honor and it's a great good fortune for my queen that at this time when she is of child and when she is maybe within a few weeks or so, the child was to be born. She was maybe in the 8th or 9th month of her pregnancy. And as soon as Narada came, he welcomed him with honor, gave him a throne by his side and inquired about him. And to what do I owe this honor of your visit and your darshan? He said, I heard that you are to have a successor. So I thought I will just go and see your queen. Oh, he was very happy. He said, come, I will myself conduct you into the inner apartments, specially set aside for the royal women of the family. It is a separate part of the palace where there is no access to men. Even when the king wants to come, he has to send word before. Some maids will go and say, His Royal Highness wants to come. And it goes without saying, immediately he was asked to be brought, welcomed with honor. Or if the queen was not free to see him at that moment, he was told, you please be up on your throne or in your private chamber. We will come and take you. So Narada was taken by Hiranyakashipu into the inner chambers. And he was welcomed by the attendants of the Queen Kayadu. Narada went. And there, Queen was shining like the full moon. Shining like the full moon. Narada said, what a great radiance is issuing forth from the Queen. Within her must be some extraordinary person, not an ordinary person. And Narada just raised his mind to the level of intuition. And intuitionally he saw, oh, now I realize the reason for this radiance in Queen Kayadu's face. Because a very, very great devotee of Lord Narayana is to be born to her. The child that will be born will be an extraordinary child. The child that will be born will be an unparalleled devotee of Lord Narayana. Lord Narayana. Ever he will be engaged in uttering the name of Hari. Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana. Keshava, Madhava, Vishnu, Madhusudana, Trivikrama, Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Purushottama, Adokshaja, Narayana, and he kept quiet because Narada said, if I say that this man is a terrible fellow, all his love for his wife may turn into anger that she is bringing forth such a child. He may even destroy her, kill her with the child. So he kept quiet. And usually in this ancient India, when the children became 4 or 5 years of age and old enough to recognize alphabets, read alphabets, write alphabets, they were usually sent away to the hermitage of some sage who was conducting and running a school for children. And that school was a boarding school. Once the children came and until they finished their education up to a certain level, they lived there. They lived there, studied, their whole 24 hours of the day was regulated upon a certain schedule, timetable, rigid timetable. And the wife of the sage was like a mother to them during the entire period of their stay. Entire period of their educational process, the sage's wife looked after them as her own family. Guru Patni was a second mother to them, foster mother like. So it was called Gurukula Vasa and Vidyabhyasa period. And somehow or other, his activities were kept a secret, and when he grew up, he was sent to Gurukula. He called that Rishi who was running Gurukula, I gave an order. See that he is brought up according to our tradition. See that he also becomes an enemy of Hari, according to the laws prevailing in this. In that way, train up my son. He is to succeed me. He sent there to the horror of the Guru who was running the Gurukula. When he was absent, what Prahlada used to do was gather together all the other students and come, let us sing the name of Hari. So, clap their hands, all, and that is something terribly against the law. When someone went and reported it to the Guru, came running, he was horrified. If I allow this to happen, I will not be alive. He told Prahlada, please don't do this. You may do anything, but please don't do this. Your father will be very wroth. And Prahlada said, other than this I know nothing, because when I was in my mother's inside, one day a great sage came, and as he entered our room, he was only singing this. I heard from there, before I was born, I know only Hari Narayan, Hari Narayan, Hari Narayan. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. This is what I know. I learnt it before I was born. So what I know, what I am teaching, you please learn. Yes, Guruji, certainly. What you are teaching, I will certainly learn. And what I know, I will teach these children. So, he learnt everything like a very devoted, efficient student. But he became a teacher in turn, in teaching them how to sing the Lord's name. Thus the story develops very interesting. And so, when this goes to the ear of Hiranyakashipu, he is very much shocked. My beloved child is doing such a thing? Oh, I must exorcise. Some devil has got hold of it, some demon. I must exorcise the demon. He calls him, takes him upon his lap, because he has got very great love for Prahlada. See, my beloved child, you see, you can do anything, learn all the lessons, and you can do anything you like. You can play, you can jump, I will give you toys, you can go swimming, you can do anything. Ask whatever you want, I will give. But don't utter this name. Don't utter this name. What to do, Father? It comes by itself. It comes by itself. No, even though it comes, you must suppress it. Because he is my enemy. Because he is my enemy. I want to kill him. One day I would want to find him and kill him. Because he wanted to be immortal, deathless. Nothing in this created universe should be able to kill him. So he did great penance to propitiate Brahma, the creator. And pleased by his severe penance and devotion, when Brahma appeared, he asked him this boon. He asked him this spoon. Brahma said, you ask me anything else, but this boon I cannot give. Because the law of the human world is, he who is born ultimately dies. He is born, he is an infant, then he becomes a little baby, then he becomes a toddler, then he crawls on all fours, then he learns how to sit and move with the help of the buttocks, and then he begins to stand slowly, and the mother makes him learn how to take little steps, leaves the boy there or girl there and comes and sits. Come, 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 come. And faltering steps it takes. And before it falls, mother catches it. Like that, mother trains the baby to move. Ultimately, it can stand and move by itself, little unsteadily. And then as it grows, then it can run also. Then it can jump, then climb trees. Then it becomes a headache to the mother and father. If he slips and falls, what to do? Then it jumps from trees into rivers or tanks and swims, learns swimming. Everything except flying, everything it does. That is the law. But ultimately, it becomes old and it becomes ill, it becomes confined to bed, and ultimately it passes. This is the law of life. No person embodied in a body can become immortal because the body is perishable. It is made of 5 elements, it is perishable. Ask any other boon. Now, this Hiranyakarpu thinks immortality I cannot get. Death is certain. That is what Brahma says. Now I will try another devious route. He says, I should not die during daytime. Granted. Then he can die by night. I should not die during night. Granted. Brahma thought this is junction point which is neither day nor night. Brahma Murta in the morning and evening after sunset before darkness of night comes. Granted. I should not die inside any house, building. Granted. I should not die outside also. Brahma says granted. Because his death can always appear upon the threshold of the entrance to the house, which is neither inside nor outside, middle. I should not die on land, granted. I should not die on water, granted. So, Brahma thinks there is a third alternative which this fool does not know. So he says, granted. I should not be killed by any human being, granted. I should not be killed by any animal, granted. Because all this is registered in Brahma's computer. Because he is the creator of anything, so he can create something who is neither an animal nor like the centaur, which is half a horse and half man. I think ancient Greek mythology. So, all conditions fulfilled. And he is so sure, if I am deathless, before one day or other, near future or far future, I will find out and kill this Hari. Hari is my enemy. And But he is not able to quell Prahlada. Then suddenly his love for the child turns into intense anger and intense hate. Unworthy child does not deserve to live. I will kill him. So he tries to have him bitten by poisonous, virulently poisonous serpents. These serpents don't bite him at all. Then he said, tie him up to the ground and make an elephant to step upon him. Let him be made into a pulp. And the mahout, the rider upon the elephant knows to obey his order. Whatever the mahout says, the elephant will do like that. So the mahout takes the elephant there, Prahlada is on the ground. He takes him near to him. He says, now, lift your leg. Elephant lifts the leg. Put it down there upon that boy. Elephant will not do it. He goads it. Ankush also, they say, very sharp instrument by which the softer portion where the ear emerges from. He goads it with a sharp instrument and says, leg will not come down. He does everything. He tortures the elephant, shouts at it. In that way, then he is taken upon a cliff and thrown down into the ocean. This Hiranyakashipu has got a sister. She has got a special boon that fire will not burn her. She can enter a blazing fire and sit, it will not burn. So Hiranyakashipu calls the sister and says, look here sister, you have to do one thing for me. Yes, brother. Take this nasty fellow. I will ask for a big bonfire to be made. When it is blazing furiously, take this boy, go into the middle of the fire and sit. So, fire will not touch you. This fellow, let him be reduced to ashes. So, big blazing fire, furiously blazing fire is made, and then bring your son. But the mother heart, it is wrung with agony. She brings it. What to do? She knows the temper of her husband. So Queen Kayadu brings and hands over there and runs away. She cannot be present there. Now today my son will find his death. He will burn to ashes. Then he calls the sister. And so her sister's name is Holika. Holika. Terrible demoness. So she takes the child, goes and sits in the middle of the fire, all the while Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Narayana, 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 Keshava, Madhava, Govinda. He is in bliss, and as soon as Holika takes him into the center of the blazing fire, putting him upon the lap and sits, the fire becomes cool, like AC in summer, to Prahlada, and Holika is burned to ashes. She gives a scream, a shout, and an agonizing scream, and then she is burned to ashes. Burned to ashes. It is upon a certain day in the year, and there, everywhere all over India, people they start heaping. 1 month previously, they start heaping all dry things, timber and branches and cloth and everything, in a public place, in a city, in a town, in a village. And then upon that particular day, they fire it. On the day in which Hiranyakashipu's sister was burned, they fire it. And make all sorts of noise, especially it's a gala day for youngsters. They go round and round, see, like Red Indians dancing, go round and round, and make all sorts of they make. So you see, it is not that nothing is impossible to God. Similarly, nothing is impossible for God's name. And one who takes absolute shelter under God's name and dedicates one's life to chanting the God's name of God, divine name of God, nothing becomes impossible. Nothing can touch that person. Nothing becomes impossible. Everything becomes possible. And in our scriptures, Prahlada's life proves this. It illustrates this. And it proves this. And this episode of Hiranyakashipu, the God-hater, his great penance and boon given by Brahma, and the birth of Prahlada in his family, and the great love the father had towards the infant child, and how the love turned into anger first, then it turned into intense hate. He wanted to destroy the child, and how the child became indestructible, immortal. And how, in a final fit of anger, he catches hold of Prahlada. God, 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 Hari, 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 Hari. Where is your Hari? He said, beloved father, what a question you are asking. You must ask, where is he not? He is everywhere. Is he present now? Yes, he is present. Where? Is he present behind me? Yes, he is present. He says, there is no one there. Is he present in front? To the right, to the left? Everywhere he is present. Then why cannot see him? You can see him if you call upon him with devotion. But you are not doing that. You have got terrible anger. You abuse him. All sorts of words you use. How can you see him? If you develop devotion, don't tell this rotten nonsense, meaningless nonsense. Show me this instant, I will kill him. Where is he here in this hall? He is the throne room. He is everywhere. He is in this wall, yes. He is in the roof, yes. He is in the ground. He is in this pillar, yes. He is in this pillar. Then there is a pillar right near the throne. He is in this pillar. Yeah, why not? So, taking his mace, with all his strength, he utters a curse word and hits the pillar. Hits the pillar. As the pillar is hit, there comes a roaring noise. An unearthly roaring noise. And like an earthquake, the whole palace and the throne room shakes. Hiranyakashipu was to steady himself. And then suddenly, with a terrific, explosive noise, the pillar splits, it is rent into two. And from within the pillar, there manifests a strange being with 4 hands, a human body up till the neck, and a great lion's head with the red tongue and teeth, lion's teeth, and lion's claws. The hands, 10 fingers of the hands, lion's claws, sharp claws, razor sharp claws, and a lion's head, fierce eyes, looking upon Hiranyakashipu with fury. And then he is paralyzed with fear. When he struck the pillar, he was all heroic, angry. But when the roar, they say the 3 worlds became frightened with the roar of this manifestation. That manifestation is one of the 10 manifestations of Lord Narayana for the sake of establishing dharma upon earth and destroying adharma. And this manifestation is called man-lion. Nrsimha. Nrsimha is a combination of the name Nara. Nara means man. Siva means lion. Narasimha. Narasimha. Man, lion. Nrsimha. Nrsimha-avatar. And then it advances towards this man, catches hold of him, drags him to the threshold, and lifts him up as though he has no weight, and puts Hiranyakashipu upon his thighs. And it is at that time, the day is about to close, but night has not yet come. He asks him, "Is it night now?" He said, "No." "Is it day now?" He said, "No." "Are you inside?" "No." "Are you outside?" "No." "Are you in water?" "No." "Are you in land?" "No." Because he is on. And then, "Am I a man?" Looking at his face, he says, "No, no." "Am I an animal?" Looking at his body, he says, "No, no." Because his hands and feet and thighs, he folded his thighs, sitting in asana, and he finds there, he shows him his cross. "Is this any weapon? Sword or knife or dagger? Is it? No." And therefore, all he had asked Brahma is fulfilled. It is neither day nor night, nor water nor land, neither inside nor outside, nor man nor animal, nor weapon or instrument, lethal instrument, neither weapon, na astra, na shastra. See? And having fulfilled, he plunges his razor-sharp claws into Hiranyakashipu's abdomen. That is how Hiranyakashipu, the almost immortal, the near immortal demon king, meets his end at the feet of at the hands of God. In one way, he is fortunate enough to meet his end upon the lap of God. It's all brought about by the glory of the divine name, by the devotion to God. See, in one way, God gives even greater importance to his devotee than himself. His comfort becomes secondary. In the same way, once the Lord left his abode and ran to rescue an elephant that had gone into the Ganges for drinking water, and it had a deadly enemy, a big alligator. It grabbed hold of her, not an ordinary alligator, very big, grabbed hold of her. And in agony, he tried to shake off the alligator and come back to the dry land. But the alligator was stronger because it was in its element. The elephant was out of its element. It was left land and come into the water. It began dragging. The elephant appeals to the entire herd. The entire herd locked their trunks upon the tail of the elephant leader and try to, he is called Gajendra, the lord of the elephant, try to drag him out. About 10 or 20 members of the elephant herd try to drag him out. But the alligator takes it inside. What is the difference between an alligator and a crocodile? Not much difference. There is only two words for the same animal. And ultimately, they say, what is the use? They are also dragged into the water. Then they said, no, we give it up as a hopeless case. They leave him and go away. Gajendra is alone. My God, my herd has abandoned me, left me to my own devices. Now I have no one but God. So it plucks a lotus from the river bank, holding it aloft in its trunk, end of the trunk, calls upon Lord Hari. Lord Hari. When this agonized call reaches Vaikuntha, the abode of Lord Hari, he says, oh, someone is calling me, taking my name, has taken shelter as a last resort at my feet. I must not any longer tarry, I must not delay. Immediately the Lord gets upon his bird chariot, Garuda, and with his whole weapons, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, comes down, descends to earth, goes to the river, sees. At that time, the crocodile has dragged Gajendra right up till midstream. And the whole body of Gajendra is not seen. It is underwater. Only even the nose, eyes, face also has gone underwater. Only the tip of the trunk with the flower is visible to indicate where Gajendra is. And immediately, Lord gives order to his discus. See, Chakra, go. Destroy this enemy of my devotee. Okay. So the discus goes and tears, because if it is to cut the crocodile and decapitate it, Gajendra's foot also will be cut, because part of the foot is in the mouth of the crocodile. Therefore, Sudarsana very perceivingly, first of all, tears one part of the crocodile's mouth, then another part of the crocodile. Then the grip, there is no more any grip. It becomes loose. Gajendra withdraws his foot, and then it comes up and hymns the Lord with the Gajendra Stava of Lord Hari is there. All these are in the great scripture called Srimad Bhagavata Mahapurana. Srimad Bhagavata Mahapurana. Composed due to intuition by Veda Vyasa, Bhagavata Mahapurana. It has got 12 parts, and each part has got many chapters, giving the story of the incidents of various devotees in various ages. See, it is full of God, God's divine name, the power of the name, devotees of God. what all Lord did for his devotees. Bhaktavatsala Bhagavan is Bhaktavatsala Bhagavan. And therefore, Gurudev, in his 20 important spiritual instructions, has made the study of religious books and scriptures one of the very, very important items in the 20 items. This regular daily study of a religious spiritual book is called Swadhyaya. See? Swadhyaya. And the great sage Patanjali Maharishi, who gave us the science of meditation through his Patanjali Yoga Sutras, Narada, the great sage, gave us the science of devotion in Narada Bhakti Sutras. Patanjali gave us the full description of the science of meditation in an 8-staged exposition called Patanjali's Yoga Sutras or Ashtanga Sutras. And it is Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, and ultimately Samadhi. Superconscious experience, God experience. And in Yama there are 5 universal vows. Ahimsa, Satyam, Brahmacharya, Asteya, Aparigraha. And in the daily disciplines that are incumbent upon the yogi, before he enters into meditative stage, before he becomes well established in a firm, steady, unshaking posture, before all that, he has to practice 5 daily disciplines. In that 5 daily disciplines, Swadhyaya features as the 4th. Shaucha, Santosha, Tapas, Swadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhana. Shaucha, Santosha, Tapas, Swadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhana. Shaucha, Santosha, Tapas, Swadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhana. Swadhyaya has an important place in the yoga practice of the yogi. And therefore, Gurudev has included in his 20 important spiritual instructions, and we will carry this topic further tomorrow. Oh my God, I am sorry it is too late. I thought I shall not go beyond half an hour. It has gone very much beyond that. And tomorrow very briefly we will talk about Swadhyaya and one more aspect of sadhana life. It is part of yoga sadhana. Harihi Om.